Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the World Climate News. The older viewers of our channel may remember Europe was threatened by an ice age. And I don't mean the little ice ages after the climate optimum of the Roman era or after the medieval warm phase, but the ice age in the 1980s. Wait a minute, haven't temperatures been going straight up since industrialization? Not quite, but let's delve into the past first. In the 1940s, temperatures in the Northern Hemisphere were well above average, significantly warmer than in the last 60 years. 1953 was one of the warmest years on record, with an average temperature that was 0.25 degrees above normal. The 1950s were also relatively warm in the Northern Hemisphere, but then temperatures suddenly plunged. As you can see from this newspaper clipping, an impressive downward trend was observed starting in 1974. The vast majority of scientists agreed that we were heading for a cold snap. The American chemist and Nobel Prize winner Linus Pauling wrote in the German newspaper Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung of a global catastrophe. The chances of a rapid return to a warm climate were 1 in 10,000 at best, according to US weather researcher James McQuigg. In the following years, the new trend continued and people's observations confirmed the experts' analysis. There were storm surges, floods, snowstorms, hurricanes, enormous harvest losses, and in some summers it did not get really warm. In the winters of the late 70s, there were sudden cold spells with temperatures plummeting by around 30 degrees Celsius in northern Germany, causing meter-high snowfalls that paralyzed the entire country. Of course, the journalists only increased the fears of the scientists with their panic-mongering. Although in times without the internet, people's concerns could not be so easily exaggerated. Nevertheless, you can see an excerpt from the 1978 documentary here.
At weather stations in the far north, temperatures have been dropping for 30 years. Seacoasts, long free of summer ice, are now blocked year-round. According to some climatologists, within a lifetime, we might be living in the next ice age.
We can say with confidence that we are currently heading toward another ice age.
It looks like the climate has changed. It looks like it turned colder.
If we are unprepared for the next advance, the result could be hunger and death on a scale unprecedented in all of history.
Increased demand for heating fuel would trigger an energy crisis beyond anything we can imagine. Food production would plummet. Prices would soar out of sight. Clearly, one of the future's great problems will be to survive the next ice age.
45 years later, it all seems rather absurd, and yet somehow familiar. The explanations are the same as today, only with the opposite sign. The tragic prognoses are almost identical and the methods are actually the same. Here, ice core drilling shows that there has been a drastic cold snap in the past. And Chester Langway, chairman of the geology department at the University of Buffalo, assumes that another cold snap of this kind could occur again soon. The methods being considered are just as questionable as today's. We could use nuclear energy to melt the polar ice caps or cover the ice with soot to make it melt. At least we are being realistic and letting climate researcher Steven Schneider have his say. Who doubts these methods? Nevertheless, people were shocked and frightened. At the beginning of the 80s, the all-clear was given. Summers were getting warmer again, winters were no longer as cold, and little by little, memories of one of the most false prognoses of the 20th century disappeared. The 1980s were then dominated by the story of acid rain, which was supposed to destroy entire forests. This story was eventually replaced by the hole in the ozone layer, which was discovered in 1985. And in the 90s, as temperatures continued to rise, the carbon dioxide theory was already in the starting blocks. The IPCC was founded in 1988, and the first assessment report was published in 1990, which already recommended reducing carbon dioxide emissions by 20% by 2005, because otherwise temperatures would increase by 0.3 degrees per decade. This time, they were absolutely certain. A brief interjection. According to the first IPCC report in 1990, it should have been 0.9 degrees warmer in 2020. In reality, it was 0.5 degrees warmer, and it has been misestimated by almost half. Climate alarmism has been around for a long time, but the original scenarios and absolutely certain forecasts are completely ignored. About 50 years ago, it was already agreed that humanity would soon die under ice sheets. Will the carbon dioxide thesis also soon be forgotten? Hardly. The narrative of climate protection is too dominant. It has been the main topic in climate and environmental science for too many years, and too many people make money from it. But who knows? Valentina Sharkova, about whom we recently made a video, argues that there will soon be global cooling because a new solar cycle has begun. Incidentally, 50 years ago, solar cycles were also blamed for the cold snap, so the argument was more about natural factors. Today, in the case of carbon dioxide, humans can be blamed for everything. The consequences? Climate anxiety is causing the whole of the West to willingly give up its freedom and to believe that children, cars, and air travel will somehow cause the world's oceans to boil. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to support us, information for donation can be found in the video description box down below. See you next time.